If you're a man over 60 and you've started noticing that your body doesn't quite wake up the way it used to, I want you to know something right now. You're not broken. You're not lazy. And most importantly, you are not alone. For many of my patients, mornings are the first time they feel it. The heaviness, the stiffness, that sense that your body is just not quite on your team anymore. You roll out of bed and stretch, but it doesn't do much. Your joints feel creaky. Your balance feels off. And somewhere in your mind, you think, when did everything get harder? Now, most men won't talk about this. Not with their buddies. Not even with their partners. But I can't tell you how many fathers, grandfathers, and husbands I've sat with over the past 35 years who quietly whisper the same thing. Doc, I just don't feel strong anymore. And I get it, because I've been there myself. My name is Dr. William Harris. I'm a board-certified urologist based in Austin, Texas. And I've spent over 3 decades helping men navigate the physical and emotional transitions that come with aging. And one of the most overlooked truths I've learned, you don't need to go to a gym. You don't need to lift heavy weights. You don't need expensive equipment or complicated routines. Sometimes, the most powerful way to rebuild strength is to start simple, right at home, in your living room, in your pajamas if you want. You see, performance after 60 isn't about chasing youth. It's about reconnecting with your body in a way that feels natural, respectful, and sustainable. And movement, even just a few minutes a day, is one of the most powerful ways to say to your body, I'm still here, I still care, and I'm still in this with you. So in today's video, I'm going to walk you through a few simple exercises you can do at home that help improve circulation, mobility, stability, and yes, even confidence. These aren't about showing off. They're about showing up for yourself. So if that sounds like the kind of support you've been looking for, I invite you to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and type I'm still here in the comments below, just as a quiet way of saying you're not giving up, you're stepping back in, one small movement at a time. Now, let's begin with the first exercise, one I recommend to nearly every man who walks through my office, because it helps rebuild something most of us don't even realize we've lost. Now before we get into the actual movements, let me say something important. These exercises aren't about how much you sweat. They're about how deeply you reconnect. Because what I've seen time and time again is this: when a man begins to move with intention, not to punish his body, but to listen to it, something shifts. It's not just his muscles that get stronger, it's his presence, his posture, his sense of I still belong in this body. So as we go into these movements together, I want you to let go of perfection. You don't have to do them fast. You don't have to do them perfectly. You just have to begin. And the best place to begin is with the one area that quietly controls your stability, blood flow, and even confidence, yet rarely gets attention: your pelvic floor. 1. Strengthening the pelvic floor. The foundation of male vitality. There's one set of muscles I wish more men over 60 knew about. It's this, your pelvic floor. Now, most guys, even the ones who've been active their whole lives, don't give this area a second. What? They've heard about biceps, pecs, quads, but the pelvic floor, it barely gets a mention. And yet, this quiet group of muscles, hidden deep beneath the surface, forming a sort of sling between your pubic bone and tailbone, is one of the most powerful tools you have for maintaining male performance, especially after 60. Let me explain why. Your pelvic floor supports your bladder, bowel, and prostate. It helps control urination and bowel movements. And here's what most men care about. It plays a direct role in erection strength, ejaculation, and overall pelvic blood flow. When the pelvic floor weakens, which naturally happens with age, you might start noticing things like occasional urine leaks when you cough or laugh, a weaker stream, slower recovery after intimacy. A sense of disconnection from your lower body. But here's the good news. You can train it. Just like any other muscle in your body, your pelvic floor responds to movement, consistency, and attention. Let me tell you about one of my patients, Richard. He's 72, a retired electrician. Tough as nails, but quiet. When he first came to see me, he was embarrassed. Not because of pain, but because, as he put it, I just don't feel in control down there anymore. He'd started waking up with fewer morning erections. He was experiencing dribbles after urinating, and intimacy with his wife had become more stressful than enjoyable. We didn't start with medication. We started with breath, with awareness, and with a simple pelvic floor routine he could do in his recliner every morning. 3 weeks in, he came back with a half smile and said, "Doc, I don't know if it's my imagination, but I feel more alive again." That's not imagination. That's our ECONNECTION. Try this. The basic male Kegel exercisers how to begin reawakening your pelvic floor right now at home. 1. Sit or lie down comfortably. Close your eyes if you'd like. Focus inward. 2. Tighten the muscles you'd use to stop urine midstream, not your abs, not your glutes, just the internal lift. 3. Hold for 3 to 5 seconds, then release gently. Rest for 5 to 10 seconds. 4. Repeat 10 times. Do this to the 3 times a day. No one will see you doing this. There's no strain, no sweat, but over time, you may notice stronger control, better circulation, and a quiet return of something you thought was gone. Bonus tip: pair Kegels with deep breathing at this layer. Inhale slowly through your nose as you release the pelvic floor. Exhale through your mouth as you contract. This rhythm helps calm your nervous system while activating the right muscles. A double win. And remember, this isn't about fixing yourself. It's about reminding your body, I'm still here. I still care. 1. Walking in place with arm swings, boosting blood flow, boosting performance. Let's talk about something so simple, so accessible, yet often overlooked. Walking in place with purpose. Now, before you tune out, thinking this is too easy to matter, hear me out, because what I'm about to share could be the most important shift you make for your male performance after 60. You see, performance, in every sense of the word, is deeply tied to circulation. When blood flows freely, your brain gets sharper, your muscles recover faster, your heart stays younger, and yes, your response time, arousal, and intimacy improve. In fact, one of the most direct biological requirements for an erection is good blood flow to the pelvic region, and that doesn't happen by accident. It happens when your heart, lungs, and vessels are activated, even gently, every day. Let me tell you about Mike, 67 years old, former high school math teacher. He came into my office one morning with a worried look and said, "Doc, I still care about being intimate, but my body doesn't seem to get the message anymore." He wasn't diabetic. He wasn't on heavy medications, but he'd gotten sedentary, spending more time in front of the TV than moving. And he'd begun to notice, physically and emotionally, a kind of fog creeping in. We didn't put him on pills. We started with a pair of sneakers and 5 minutes each morning. Right after waking up, Mike would walk in place for 5 minutes, swinging his arms gently, breathing deeply, not sprinting, not sweating buckets, just moving, with intention. After 2 weeks, he said, "Doc, I'm not running marathons, but I feel clearer, warmer, like something's moving again." And that something was blood, because circulation isn't just about pressure and numbers. It's about connection. When your blood moves, your cells wake up, your nervous system hums. Your pelvic region receives fresh oxygen and nutrients, preparing it to respond when you need it most. How to do it: gentle indoor walking with arm swing. Here's a simple routine you can start today. 1. Find a safe, quiet space, your living room, hallway, or even next to your bed. 2. Stand tall, roll your shoulders back, breathe it deeply. 3. Start walking in place. Lift your knees comfortably, about 3 to 4 inches off the ground. 4. Swing your arms gently, not like a soldier, but like you're walking in a park. Let your elbows bend, wrists relaxed. 5. Inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth. Keep the rhythm for 5 to 10 minutes. You don't need fancy equipment. You don't even need to leave your house. What you need is consistency. Do this every morning, before breakfast or before a shower, and over time, you may notice improved energy throughout the day, sharper focus, and yes, more dependable, more natural responsiveness when it matters most. Because here's something I always tell my patients: circulation is communication. When your blood flows, your body gets the signal. We're alive. We're connected. We're ready. And that's how performance begins, not with pressure, not with pills, but with simple, daily momentum. 3. The bridge pose, strengthening your foundation from within. Let's talk about something most men over 60 have never been told. If you want to improve your performance in any area of life, you need to pay attention to your pelvic floor. I know, it doesn't sound very exciting, but hear me out. because this could change everything. Your pelvic floor muscles are a group of small, deep muscles located at the base of your pelvis. They support your bladder, your bowel, and, you guessed it, your sexual function. When these muscles weaken with age, which they naturally do, several things start to happen. You may have trouble maintaining an erection. You might feel less sensation or control. And for some men, bladder leaks or urgency start to creep in. Here's the good news. You can train these muscles. You can reawaken them. And you can do it from the comfort of your own living room. Starting with one simple movement. The bridge pose. Is not yoga. It's not a stretch. It's a quiet way to activate your core and rebuild strength from the inside out. Let me walk you through it. How to perform the bridge pose. 1. Lie down on your back on a firm surface like a yoga mat or carpeted floor. 2. Bend your knees so your feet are flat on the ground, hip width apart. Keep your arms by your sides. 3. Slowly lift your hips off the ground, squeezing your glutes and lower belly as you rise. 4. At the top of the movement, your body should form a straight line from your knees to your shoulders. 5. Hold for 3 to 5 seconds, breathing slowly. Then lower your hips back down with control. 6. Repeat this movement 10 to 15 times, once or twice per day. Now you may be wondering, can something this simple really help? Let me tell you about Frank, 72 years old, a retired truck driver who came to me feeling frustrated and embarrassed. He said, "Doc, I've got no strength down there. It's like things don't fire when they should." Frank wasn't overweight. He ate well, but years of sitting behind the wheel had weakened his pelvic floor and core, and it was starting to affect his confidence, both physically and emotionally. We didn't start with pills or procedures. We started with the bridge pose. Every morning, before breakfast, Frank did 2 sets of 10. No equipment, no pressure, just quiet consistency. After 3 weeks, he said, "Doc, I'm not Superman, but I feel like I've got my center back, like I'm in control again." And that's what the pelvic floor is all about. Control. Control over your body, your sensations, your responses, and most importantly, control over your connection with your partner and with yourself. Because when you build strength from the ground up, when you support the core systems of your body, everything else begins to respond. It's not about force. It's not about strain. It's about activation, awareness, and rhythm. So, if you've been feeling less responsive, less confident, or less steady in your lower body, don't overlook this. Start with the bridge. Start with intention. And remember this, a strong foundation leads to strong connection. When you choose to show up for your body in this simple, daily way, you're not just building muscle, you're rebuilding trust. 4. The butterfly stretch, opening the hips. Unlocking connection. Let's move to something that might surprise you, because when most men think about performance, they rarely think about their hips. But I'll tell you this, I've seen more breakthroughs from improving hip flexibility than from any high-tech gadget or fancy supplement. And it all starts with one simple, gentle movement, the butterfly stretch. You see, your hip region, including your inner thighs, groin, and pelvic joints, plays a huge role in how your body moves, how blood flows, and how sensation travels through your lower half. And as we age, especially past 60, those hips tend to tighten from sitting too much, from stress, from years of storing tension and never stretching it out. Tight hips restrict blood flow. They limit your range of motion, and worst of all, they cut off your connection to one of the most sensitive, powerful areas of the body, your pelvis. That's why the butterfly stretch is so powerful. It's not about brute strength. It's not about pushing hard. It's about opening up, letting go, and creating space for energy, circulation, and sensation to return. How to do the butterfly stretch. 1. Sit on the floor with your back straight. Use a folded towel or pillow under your hips if needed. Closing parenthesis. 2. Bring the soles of your feet together, allowing your knees to drop outward to the sides. 3. Hold your feet gently with your hands. Don't force anything. 4. Let your knees fall toward the ground, only as far as they naturally go. You should feel a gentle stretch in your inner thighs and hips. 5. Breathe deeply. Stay in this position for 30 seconds to 1 minute, focusing on slow, relaxed breathing. 6. Do this stretch once or twice per day, especially in the morning or before bed. Now, let me tell you about George, 75 years old, retired postal worker, married for 50 years. He came into my office one day, shifting uncomfortably in his chair. He said, "Doc, I feel stiff, not just in my back, but everywhere below the belt. And honestly, it's making intimacy feel like work." George wasn't in pain, but he felt disconnected, tight, clumsy, out of rhythm with his own body. We started with this one stretch, 10 minutes a day. That's it. After 2 weeks, he came back smiling. "I'm moving better. I feel looser." And let's just say my wife noticed too. What changed? George didn't take a pill. He didn't do anything extreme. He just opened his hips, and something deeper opened with it. Because here's the truth most men never hear. Your hips are not just joints. They are crossroads of circulation, nerve flow, and emotional energy. When they stay locked, everything downstream gets restricted. But when they open, blood flows. Nerves wake up. Sensation returns, and with it, so does confidence. That's why the butterfly stretch is more than a physical movement. It's a signal to your body, "I'm ready to reconnect." So if you've been feeling tight, closed off, or a little numb in ways you can't quite explain, start here. Sit down, breathe, open up, gently, patiently, and with kindness. Because sometimes, when the hips open, the heart follows. So, we've covered for simple movements today. Nothing fancy, nothing extreme. Just small, steady actions, activating the pelvic floor to support core strength and blood flow. Using the bridge pose to awaken your glutes and hips, stretching with the butterfly to open circulation and let go of tension. Walking with intention, not just as exercise, but as a daily rhythm of movement and presence. And maybe, somewhere along the way, you realize what this video was really about. It's not about fixing your body. It's about reconnecting with it. Because after 60, performance isn't measured by reps or results. It's measured by how present you are in your body, your breath, your relationships. I remember one of my patients. His name was Walter, 72, a retired electrician from Kansas. He came to me looking worn down, not in pain, not ill, just out of sync. He said, "Doc, I don't need to run a marathon. I just want to feel like my body is mine again." So we started simple, 10 minutes a day, a few gentle stretches, a short walk around his backyard. Nothing complicated. 2 months later, he came back in, stood taller, smiled wider. He said, "I'm not chasing my old self anymore. I'm walking with who I am now, and it feels good." That, my friend, is what this is all about. You're not behind. You're not broken. You're just being invited to show up, maybe in a new way. With a little more kindness and a little less pressure, your body may not move like it once did, but it's still listening, still capable of strength, intimacy, confidence, when supported with care and consistency. So if this video gave you something, a bit of hope, a clearer path, or even just the reminder that you're not alone, I'd be honored if you do 2 things. 1, like the video, not for me, but so this message reaches more men who need to hear it. To leave a comment, even just the word present or strong, to let me know you're here, you're showing up, and you're walking this journey to. And if you've got a friend, a brother, a neighbor who's been struggling silently, send this their way. Because no man should walk this path alone, and no one ever told us that sometimes the strongest thing you can do is slow down, listen, and begin again. I'll be right here, in every message, every video, walking with you, one step at a time. Take care of yourself, and remember, your body is still listening.